welcome to today's speed build. So I am creating another castle. This one is a medieval castle built for a save file collab put together by Divanthesimmer. So I saw a post on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. I think actually someone tagged me in it and invited me to join a Discord group. So when I went to have a look, it was for a medieval save file, which I was very excited about because it's kind of what my channel has turned into, and I thought it was just a really nice thing to do, and I was very excited about it. So I had a look through the different channels on the Discord and found the Glimmerbrook one, and I really liked the backstory that had been given to this world. And Steven had actually made the ruler for Glimmerbrook. He had created a sim called Lady Raven Dancer Goth, who is the ancestor of the Goth family, and they are obviously a spellcaster, and I chose to build the castle for this sim because that wouldn't really be me if I didn't pick the castle. So this save file collab has so many amazing creators in there who do things from building to cast creation. So obviously I had to pick a build because I'm not really I don't really make sims. I make them for myself, but that's about it. So I really wanted to give this one a try, and I wasn't entirely sure whether I was going in the right direction with it, but when I shared my work in progress screenshots with them last week, a couple of them seemed to really like what I had done and was very encouraging for me to continue with it. So this is what I have for you. I do change out the left hand side, as you will see in a little bit. My game unfortunately crashed on me and I hadn't saved it, so I had to really quickly kind of rebuild what I had already done, which was a little bit annoying, but I don't know why I haven't learned. I have done this so many times and I still don't learn to save my game. So until we get an autosave feature or a mod of some kind. I know MC Command Center does have an autosave feature, which I do have, but it only works in live mode or live mode, whichever you want to say. It doesn't work in build mode basically. So until I find a mod or we get that feature, I'm probably going to continue to not save my game because that's just me. But I really wanted to make something a little bit different to the other kind of medieval castles that I had built before. The ones that I have done previously haven't been for any occult sims, they haven't been for a spellcaster, so this one I felt like I could go, I don't know, a little bit more, I guess, fantasy with it. I mean, most medieval type castles are fantasy based or inspired anyway, but this one I was able to use obviously the realm of magic items, the paranormal stuff items, and a bunch of other things that I might not have necessarily used previously, but I had a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. I actually spent a lot longer on this build than I would have previously liked to. It did take me quite a while longer than I was hoping, considering that it's not particularly big. This is on the biggest lot in Glimmerbrook, so it's a 40 by 30 lot, and I have created things on 64 by 64 in less time, so I don't know, I know you shouldn't push yourself and you shouldn't rush things, so I was trying to take my time and make it as make sure that I was happy with it more than anything. But at the same time I was like, oh no, this has taken me a week, why is it taking me so long? But I think the main problem with that is the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks I've been feeling really not I wouldn't say I was unmotivated, but I've just not really been, I don't know, feeling the things that I've been building. I've been happy with them, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't know whether anyone understands. But basically what you can see here, I had to change a little bit and got carried away, and we ended up with a little bit more than we did previously. But I'm just doing some terrain work now. I end up adding this little platform in here because I couldn't quite get the like the elevation right for it to still be walkable because it was just too steep. But what I tried to do, and actually it is functional, which I'm very happy about. I've lifted the right hand side of the castle up so that it's actually a floor higher than the left hand side, and then created the bridge, as you can see in the middle. This bridge is functional, they can walk across it. I've had to add like a little stair thing, like a step, so that, because technically they are walking from the second story down to the first story, or you know, vice versa, whichever way they go, and so you have to add stairs in for them to get from, you know, one floor to the other. And so there is a little bit of a clipping issue where I have added the wooden planks, the little platform wooden things from Island Living, the debug items. I've added those to kind of cover it up to make it look like it's all on one level. So there is a tiny bit of clipping as I step up the stairs from the, like, walking from the right hand side to the left hand side, but it is functional, so I was very pleased with that. We just added some rocks here. I did change my mind with these rocks quite a lot. I put them all down and then realized that some of the ones that I put down didn't rotate, so I had to go back to finding rocks that did rotate, and I just ended up going with these cats and dogs ones, which I have used a lot previously. Lots of people do, lots of builders do, because they're so easy to use. They rotate really nicely, they clip to the side of terrain and buildings and things really nicely, and the footprint on them is so tiny that it pretty much doesn't interfere with your Sims walking around or using objects, which is wonderful. And I don't know, I just think they look nice, and they resize really nicely too. So I pretty much just put these everywhere. I wanted to make, as you can see, these little like pond things with a waterfall. I wanted to just make them a bit more interesting, because normally whenever I've done like waterfalls or ponds or pool features of any kind, I tend to just put a couple of like lily pads and some algae around the outside, and then just kind of leave the rest of it. But I wanted to try and make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more, you know, magical. So it probably doesn't look quite so realistic because I've used Island Living debug items, so like the corals and things in the bottom, but it's the magic realm, so I figured I could get away with it. And I think it just looks, I don't know, a little bit more interesting. I've added the trees, like the fallen trees from the vampires pack, and I didn't realize that they would rotate, because I'm pretty sure there's one from another pack that I tried to rotate and it wouldn't. But these ones rotated really nicely, and I just thought they added a nice little bit extra. So now we are on to adding some war paint. I do change my mind a little bit with this. Some of the reference images that I had were like stone on the first level, and then as you got higher up they kind of turned more into this siding that I'm adding all these different patterns to. I tried to use like different coloured rock, but it just kind of didn't look right, and I don't know whether it was maybe my reshade, but the colours just didn't match, whereas I knew like in games without reshade, like before I had the reshade, they did match. So it took me a while to figure out, you know, which ones went well together and which ones didn't. So I added another kind of floor in the roofing on the left hand side. As you could see previously, I had these little like window boxes from Get Together in that side too. It kind of looked a little bit too Hogwartsy for me, so I wanted to change that. And I do like Hogwarts, and you know, the look of the school and everything is great, but for this save file, I think Divan wanted like a Hogwarts style magic school to be built in the magic realm, so I didn't want it to be, you know, too samey. So I changed up the left hand side just a little bit, and to add an extra room into the roof, because I kind of went all with exterior style, and when I went to do the floor plan on the inside, I realized that I didn't really have that much space. So I had to add like an extra room up there for, you know, magic-y things. I don't include the interior in this speed build as per my normal videos, but I have got a cinematic tour for you at the end, which I've been enjoying the last couple of videos that I've done. And I think it's I don't know, it's more me. I like adding them because you can see a little bit more than you can maybe with screenshots, and I just like the style of, you know, the video cinematic kind of styles that we are able to do, and you know, I just think they look nice. So here I'm trying to create some custom windows. After I've done this one, we go back upstairs. I try and create some custom windows because I wanted to use the ones that we got with Realm of Magic, the stained glass windows. I think they're Realm of Magic. But I didn't really like the yellow tones of the glass, so I change it out a little bit and go with Get Together ones and overlay them with some base game windows. But as you can see from really far away, I just didn't like the yellow. I wanted the shutters from these base game windows, but I didn't really like the style of the window. And I have created like, what's the word? I've literally just said it and I've forgotten the word. Custom windows. Goodness me. I have created custom windows in the past. And I like the uniqueness of them. So as you can see, I'm changing the swatches. I really liked this purple swatch, but then it didn't match the Get Together windows. And all the doors, which was kind of annoying. And because, you know, the wood tone was different, and I didn't want that. So I end up going with these Get Together windows overlaid with the base game windows. I had previously changed the size of the base game windows with the tool mod, so they kind of stuck out a little bit, but once I go back and put like the normal sized or the original size windows over the top, they hide the like the windowsills from the base game windows. I don't know if that makes any sense. You'll see in a second. So basically it looks like the Get Together windows with shutters, and I just think it looks nice. I could have put them overlaid with these ones that I'm currently putting down, and they probably would have matched just as well, but I liked the, I don't know, more farmhouse type shutters. I liked them because they were bigger, and I don't know, they just had a different style, and I wanted to differentiate between the windows in the towers and the windows in the rest of the build, because the towers have I guess like maid rooms or butler rooms in them. It is a castle after all. And Divan actually posted a sim. I saw it in my newsfeed on the gallery yesterday, maybe the day before, and he had created Bonehilda before she was Bonehilda and said in the description that she was the maid of Lady Ravendancer, which I thought was perfect because I had included, you know, paranormal things and a room for a maid. So I thought that was really just, I don't know, it was just perfect. So I'll talk about what I just did. I added the gate from Strangerville, but I turned it upside down with the tool mod and clipped it into the archway to kind of make it look like a castle gate. Obviously, usually castle gates would go where these two little, like, I don't know what they are, guard tower things. I'd probably put it there, and I was going to, as you probably saw earlier, I drew a couple of boxes there, but it just kind of distracted from the rest of the build. It was too big, and then, you know, from screenshots and everything, it was really difficult to see the build behind it. If I was building on a 64x64, it probably would have been easier to see, so I would have included it then, but I still wanted to include a nice little, like, gate thing. So I just put it up there. I end up putting like laundry out there, like the wash basin thing and a washing line. Probably a weird place to dry your washing, right next to a waterfall. Didn't really think of that. But it's The Sims, it's fine. And you know, it's fun. So here I've added a fishing post up there, which is functional, and I end up later adding some debug tombstones, because I've figured, you know, it would just be a nice sort of touch. Most castles usually have like a crypt or something, which I have included in the basement, but I thought it was just a nice decorative piece just to have out by the fishing place. I was just adding details, you know. So right now I am adding all of the exterior decorations. I really liked adding all of these plant boxes and ivy and things. At the time I was really doubting kind of where I was going with this build and whether I was even really happy with it, but once I had added all of these like plants and ivy and, you know, climbing flowers and things, it really changed the whole look of the build, and I don't know, then I was suddenly like really happy with it. And it's a little bit strange how like I can go from doubting whether I even like it and wanting to scrap it and start it again to being like completely in love with it and not wanting to finish it, or wanting to finish it but not wanting to end, because you know what am I gonna do now that I finish this. I did that with one of the cottages that I built last week. I think it was my teacher's cottage, my writer's cottage. I actually ended up making some Sims and playing in that house, and I have been playing in that house for the last week, and I can't stop now. And I don't normally play like with my Sims. I don't normally do gameplay, but I ended up getting a little bit obsessed with this family, and I like downloaded a whole bunch of mods and like never played with any of them, so I kind of knew what I was doing, but I hadn't really, you know, experienced the full mods like as a whole. You know, I've got like 4 gig in my mods folder and like never fully played any of them, so I thought it was a good opportunity to actually, you know, play with the mods and my Sims and make sure. Obviously I do playtest my builds, but I don't like extensively playtest them. I just make sure that my Sims can get places. But I actually have spent the last week playing in that house and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, strange, not really me, but strange, and I do enjoy it, so yeah. But we are just adding the final decorations to this house. I add a couple more landscaping pieces to the rocks on the front, some terrain paint. I don't really do too much with terrain paint. I basically just do the pathway and then do some shading around the base of the build. There isn't really much space to do extensive terrain paint because it's so small, which I know is crazy because some people, you know, 40 by 30 is a huge lot for them, but for me it's tiny. But yeah, we are almost at the end of this build, so I hope you like it. I hope you have enjoyed. Please let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you for all of your kind comments and things. I hope you enjoy the cinematic tour at the end. Subscribe if you like my content and you haven't already. I really appreciate it and love you all so much. So hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.